Susie, what have you told him about Tommy and me?
Nothing.
Watende Robinson had left the room to take a call. We probably only had seconds.
What the hell are you doing?
I was given the case.
Well, you should have turned it down.
Then someone else would have been digging around in it. I tried to get out of it. Thanks for not saying anything.
Well, you calculated I wouldn't. You thought he's not a copper anymore, he's opted out, he'll keep quiet.
I took a chance.
You got lucky. You don't know me anymore. How long have you been a DCI?
3 days.
You think your life is more worth protecting than mine?
No.
Well, you think you can be objective?
I can keep the personal stuff separate. I want justice for Tommy.
Bullshit. It's vanity and ambition. You're desperate to hang on to your big new job. You're taking an insane risk.
I miss him. Don't you miss him?
Of course I do.
So help me.
Don't want to deal with coppers.
You'd be supported.
They didn't know what to do with me.
I'd look after you.
Hi, sorry, just to say I could give you a lift home if you like. Oh, well, it doesn't have to be now if you...
Now's good. I'm done with this.
I was standing on a chair trying to fix the smoke alarm, but my hands were shaking so badly I couldn't. I'd seen a ghost. A furious one. Terry Bird came in.
JJ Green was last seen busking in his usual patch in the shopping centre. 6 p.m. night he died.
Who saw him?
A newspaper seller. He says he used to see JJ every day and sometimes he got cheek off the public.
Get the CCTV footage around the busking patch, will you?
How's Mackenzie?
OK.
He had a nervous breakdown, didn't he?
Did he? The following morning I was parked up in a side street with Robinson, waiting for Aaron Trent. A guy in the nick, Roland Palmer, had told us Aaron Trent killed PC Fenton.
Mackenzie didn't take to us, did he?
No.
Freaked him out being in the cop shop, didn't it?
I think this is him. A black traffic warden walked towards us, droning in his uniform. Aaron Trent?
Yes?
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Sue Craven. This is Detective Sergeant Watende Robinson. We just need to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Aaron Trent's fingers were as fine as a girl's. The other thing about him was that he was terrified. You lived on the Churchill estate in 1999, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you remember a policeman was murdered by the underpass, PC Thomas Fenton?
Yeah.
No one was convicted. Well, we've just had some fresh information and your name came up.
I've never been in trouble any...
I know. Aaron, to follow up that information, we need a sample of your DNA. Watende took a buccal swab from Aaron Trent. With his mouth held open and his eyes rolled back, he looked like a child at the dentist. Afterwards, he couldn't get away quick enough. He's too small. There's no way he could have killed Tommy Fenton.
I know. Can't imagine him wielding a knife and taking on 2 coppers.
I can't imagine any one person doing it.
I was wondering about that.
Get PC Fenton's jacket checked for Roland Palmer's DNA as well as Aaron Trent's. Maybe that's why he's so confident Aaron was there.
If Roland Palmer thought his own DNA was on Fenton's jacket, he'd never have stuck it under our noses.
People take crazy risks if they think it'll get him out of a foxhole. We should check it. Later that morning, Terry Bird took me through the highlights of the CCTV footage from JJ Green's busking patch.
These kids crop up a couple of times.
The jumpy images played on the screen. JJ Green playing guitar in the shopping centre. 4 figures appeared. 2 boys and 2 girls. All white. Couldn't see their faces. They seem young. People streamed jerkily past JJ towards the shopping centre exit. But the kids stayed put. What are they doing? Dancing?
Yeah, I'm mucking about.
What's that? Stop. Go back a bit. That.
Like that?
The 2 lads' heads on the screen jutted forward towards JJ. Are they spitting or shouting?
I told you, the newspaper guy said that JJ sometimes got a bit of verbal.
You said cheek. That's all you said. What about the camera outside the shopping centre? Anything on that?
It's been vandalised.
JJ's exactly the kind of victim who falls through the cracks. I don't want that to happen.
Sue, JJ's got a cousin with tons of previous.
Has he?
He lives half a mile from where JJ's body was found in the burnt-out car. I reckon we should get him in.
Imagine you're JJ's mum. Your son's been murdered. You think it's racist. Oh, your nephew's under suspicion. Terry, you could set back race relations 50 years single-handed.
Did you not chew properly when you swallowed the political correctness handbook? Because it seems to be repeating on you.
Later that morning, pathology phoned. It looked like JJ's injuries stemmed from a good kicking, not impact from a car crash. Panic and physical trauma could have triggered his epileptic fit. It seemed likely there was more than one attacker. Maybe they were kicking him when they should have been helping him.
Come in.
I want to set up a screen at the shopping centre. I want to play CCTV footage of the kids on a loop.
Well, that'll cost.
I think it'll pay off. I think it'll make an impact and we'll get an ID quickly.
And what if it's nothing to do with these kids?
They haven't appeared on CCTV since the day JJ was murdered, and they were regular fixtures.
Terry mentioned JJ's cousin.
I prefer Terry to concentrate on getting a sighting of the stolen car at a garage. It was Pinch with an empty tank. Whoever drove to the burnout spot with JJ's body in the boot had to stop and get petrol.
Where are you up to with PC Fenton?
Well, samples have gone in from Aaron Trent and Roland Palmer to be tested against Fenton's jacket.
But?
I think the original investigation was unsound.
Go on.
Not all the exhibit books are there. Not all the lab results. The policy file's one straight line to Michael Chambers.
Well, maybe he did it.
I think things have been removed. There should be dead ends. Other suspects they were considering. Roland Palmer says a load of kids were round at Michael Chambers just before the murder. There isn't any mention of that.
You better look into it.
That's not what I agreed to do.
You're like a dog with a bone with JJ Green. Why are you dragging your heels with this? You took it on, now it's developed. If you think the investigation was unsound, you have to back that up.
It'll stir things up.
Yeah, well, you better do it well then. Because if you make accusations you can't support and upset people, I won't bail you out.
I'd never asked to be his golden girl. I kept trapping myself tighter into this thing like an idiot. I felt scared and angry and out of my depth. So I gave myself another problem for comfort. Terry!
There you are.
Don't go behind my back. If you can justify the cousin, which I doubt, I'll move him up the queue.
No, you won't. You block everything I do. If I want to be taken seriously, I have to go behind your back.
When you suggest something that won't end in a riot, I won't block it. I'm not blocking it because it came from you. I'm blocking it because it's a terrible idea. It's terrible policing, it's terrible and stupid. Terry Bird didn't call me a bitch because there are regulations about that. We both knew I crossed the line and that I would pay for it. I had to keep my head. I couldn't change the position I got myself in. All I could do was do things properly while I was stuck there. Watenda, will you try and set up a meeting with Michael Chambers? I want to tell him we're digging it up. I think we owe it to him. He mustn't think he's under suspicion.
He is, though. Has been for 10 years. Do you know how many times he's been stopped and searched since he was found not guilty? 23. Even for a black man, that's sky high.
Oh, the more reason to speak to him.
And ask him what? Did you do it after all? Do you know who did?
You suspect Michael Chambers yourself? You said so.
I said I couldn't think of a stronger motive to attack a policeman than have your mother run over by one. That was before I knew the investigation was full of holes.
Tell him we want to give him a chance to speak.
He'll think it's a gimmick.
Well, I'm a gimmick, according to Terry Bird. Poster girl for the brave new force. You're a gimmick. Keenan Black. If we get put off by what other people think, we'll get nowhere.
Whichever way you look at it, I have to fight to climb up because the mountain is snow-capped.
I know. It's blow-capped as well. We just have to get on with it. Prove 'em wrong. Solidarity gimmicks.
Okay. Mackenzie phoned me.
Phoned you.
I gave him my number when I dropped him home. So, he phones me, and he's friendly, and he suggests going back to the underpass.
When?
Whenever we want.
I couldn't sleep that night. What was Macca up to? I went through the Fenton paperwork again, planning who to phone and what to ask them. Morning, Terry.
Morning, Sue.
I needed to do my job normally, properly. I needed to be smart. A key witness had offered to return to the scene of a crime. I had to take him up on that. But the key witness was Macca, and I had no idea how he would behave. And the victim was Tommy. And I had a pass with both of them. I was in too far to reverse out. I had to act. Macca wouldn't appreciate being ignored.
You're a lucky lady.
Why is that?
Because I'm going to let you buy me a drink.
Hell of a big of you. Why?
Because after a lot of toing and froing, and with a lot of stipulations thrown in, Michael Chambers is prepared to speak to us.
Superb.
I am. I know. So where do you fancy?
Oh, not tonight. Look, sorry. I've got to meet Mackenzie at the underpass.
Even better. Let's go.
I think I should go alone. I don't want to crowd him. I think going back there might upset him.
Okay. Fine.
The Churchill estate is made up of 8 rectangular concrete blocks, not high, but very wide, linked by ramps and walkways. At one end is a hilly, grassed-over patch. A tunnel passes underneath it. A giant drain pipe with a grassy hump back. Concrete steps lead down to it and up out of it. Macca was waiting there, smoking. I was surprised he suggested this. Thought you'd written me off. Macca disappeared into the underpass. I followed him. We walked through in silence. As soon as Macca came out of the other end, he crumpled to his knees.
Like that, just down.
We looked up at the grassy roof of the underpass, where his attacker must have jumped down from. Macca stood and then dropped down again, slower, finding the low wall where he'd smashed his head, marking it out.
That's what I hit, so helmet came off, and I must have gone back like that, out cold.
Macca lay on the ground with his eyes closed, intent on reliving it.
Lay there, lay there, lay there. Came to, felt the ground cold, head hurt. Turned it that way, saw Tommy.
He lay still, looking over at where Tommy had lain. Then he got up, walked a few steps, and lay himself down as if he were Tommy.
He was like this. His arm was there, the knife was sticking out here.
He touched his chest. He lay crooked, like a dropped puppet. And he jumped up, playing himself again, stooping over Tommy's body.
I went over to him, there was blood out to there, I felt his pulse, then I radioed in. It's useless. I have no idea who killed Tommy.
I drove Macca home. We didn't speak. Just listened to the wipers and thought our own thoughts.
Just here's great. Ta. Sorry I couldn't help you. Good luck.
Thanks. I watched him go, ducking down to a basement. I knew I'd never see him again. I'd done things properly, and it had paid off. The witness had nothing new to bring to the table. The past hadn't come back to bite me. Everything was under control. Except me. What you said yesterday about vanity and ambition, it's true. But it's not... It's part of it, but I'm not... I'm a good police officer, and I'm going to do the best job I possibly can on...
Come in. Come here.
Sorry.
Let me get the door. Okay?
Don't let go.
It's okay.
Tommy.
What was I thinking? I wasn't. I was, for once, not thinking at all.